I've been wanting to create a website for myself maybe since college, and obviously there are many reasons why you should have your own website. If you're in college, it's a very good way to let people know what projects you worked on, what are your qualifications, what are the skills that you're proficient in, or what are the extra stuff that you are doing. Most people feel that they can do this via LinkedIn itself. I feel that it's not that great of a presentation, or it does not give out your style, brand, or uniqueness out there. I struggled to create my website because I was pretty bad at CSS at those days. I still am. Still, somehow I created this website back in the day that tells people about what conferences that I'm attending, or what conference that I'm speaking at, what events I'm doing, my Android projects, more or less a better representation of my work than my resume. At that point of time, I hosted my website on GitHub itself with GitHub Pages. But this year, I decided to rebuild my website more professionally this time. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about these things, which is content, design, and development. So without wasting any more time, let's get started.
This is Pooja, everyone.
Honestly, content and development was mostly figured out for me, but I was struggling with the design side of things. Now, I don't mean your fancy animations and crazy pop-ups. I wanted to create a sense of familiarity with my website because so that people who follow my work can immediately connect with it. I was not only on Medium, but I was also putting out content in YouTube and Instagram, and all the pieces were different in format from each other. However, I felt that the theme should have some similarity so that it does not look like that it's coming from different people. And I don't think I was doing a very good job at it. Lucky enough, at the same time, Babs Patel had reached out to me, who is also a good friend but also a solid brand strategist who had worked with super clients like Don Felker from the Fragmented podcast and Gustavo Imhoff, #1 best-selling author and CX 30 under 30 awardee. He created a solid brand strategy for me to help me be more recognizable in the mobile community or the audience that I wanted to target. The right brand strategy has the power to help you set apart from the crowd and help you achieve your personal and business goals. And that's what Babs and I started working towards. So this is what I tried to do to solve my problem earlier, and this is the final outcome once Babs took over. Now, you might think that a brand strategy might just be color palettes and fonts, but it is much more than that, and I realized that only after I started working with him on this. It is a lot about the voice and the tone that you portray through your content. Some people like to do very sarcastic tech content, some like to portray the dominance in the market, and some just want to be relatable to the layman audience. Through some discussion, we figured out what my brand voice and tone would be and what my mission is, which helped him figure out what the brand identity should look like or feel like. We finally decided on the brand elements, the color palettes, the typography, logo, fonts, favicons, badges, and also created a familiarity between the profile pictures and the cover pictures. And this is the website that I designed when I had no strategy at all, and this is the final one that we came down to once we had the brand identity figured out. Once you have your brand strategy set, designing your website is almost like a piece of cake. Unless you want to build something fancy, but my suggestion would be always start simple and add the fancy bits later. Deploying your website is more important if you want to attract more people but faster. We talk about deployment also at the end of the video, so do stay tuned for that. And of course, if you want to dig deeper into the brand identity and brand strategy process, then definitely check the Behance link in the description below, where Babs details his thought process and reasoning for each decision. Definitely without him, my content was all over the place, and being in multiple platforms comes with its challenges because the audience of one platform cannot recognize you on another platform, and that's where having a brand identity is going to set myself apart and make my content more recognizable on the internet. If you are interested in having your own brand identity, then I have linked the contact details of Babs Patel in the description below, so you can reach out to him. And if you are interested to ask more questions around this, then we are going to host a Q&A where we answer questions about personal brand and brand identity. So stay tuned for that. Now let's get to the content side of things. Now I knew I had a set of things that I wanted in my website, like about myself, of course, but also redirect my users to my YouTube content, my Twitter content, my Medium content, but also use the website space for announcements for any future events that I am speaking at or any past achievements that I've had, etc. If you are creating your website for the very first time, then make sure you have these sections in your website. I'm assuming you are a developer, so definitely talk about the projects that you have worked on and highlight the skills and technologies that you have worked with. Worked on an Android app with Jetpack Compose or use technologies like Room, Exoplayer or Mapbox, definitely highlight these. But only keep the projects in your website that you're very super proud of, and the rest can be figured out or can be explored through GitHub or your resume maybe. Second thing, of course, your website should have links to your GitHub, LinkedIn. If you're active on Twitter, then Twitter obviously, and other relevant links. But of course, a link to your resume should also be there. But now these were very obvious, but the website is like your career representation, so definitely talk about the award that you received, the crazy achievement that you had, the events that you participated in, the events that you organized, the hackathons that you attended or maybe won as well, the conference pictures, meetup pictures. I'm sure you're doing a lot more than just coding, so definitely highlight them, and you need to let the world know who you are exactly through your website. Maybe you're not just a developer, you're trying your hands in UX designing, add about that. Maybe you're trying out different domains like in backend or like front end. Maybe you're building a community, so tell about that in your website. Or you want to invite other people to collaborate with you on your current projects, so you can add links where they can contact you for collaboration, stuff like that. Your content is king here, even more than design. Now you might think that should I put my work experience? Well, this is my personal opinion. You can put it right at the end, but your website is the representation of you and not your resume as such. All that info about your company can be gathered via your resume as well. But if you have done something extraordinary like a passion project for your company, then definitely highlight it under the projects section maybe. You can even choose to skip your schooling information because that information can also be gathered via your resume. Now let's move on to the actual development. So as I said that I'm pretty bad at CSS, so definitely using CSS, I have struggled a lot creating my website. I mean, I know that content matters more than design and I should not care about how it looks, but I could not even do a proper center align my content in CSS properly, and this is not about design anymore. It was a problem of structure. So when Flutterweb became stable, it was like a golden opportunity for me to try this out again and rebuild my website the way I wanted it to be. So actually creating the website with the proper UI took me kind of like an hour a day, and I was deploying every day, or every time I was coding for an hour, I was deploying after that. The only thing that took me some time was definitely making it responsive for all screens and devices. But of course, that's not the only issue. Definitely there were other struggles that I also faced while building my website with Flutterweb, and it wasn't a smooth ride for sure. For the newsletter section, I wanted to embed an HTML code right in the website. I tried out different HTML rendering packages, but the UI completely broke, and I decided to completely skip it and code the UI directly in Flutter. Plus there was a huge loading time for the first time load. You're probably already aware of that if you have worked with Flutterweb. So I added a hack in the main HTML code so that it shows this beautiful loading screen that I have got from CodePen. The first time load is still an issue because not everyone would want to wait for 3-5 seconds for my website to load, but that was a trade-off that I was willing to take for the other things that Flutterweb was offering me. Loading SVGs was also a problem. It was just behaving weirdly or just not rendering properly sometimes for some images. And you might also struggle with loading emojis in certain cases. And obviously navigation was also behaving differently. It was behaving like a mobile app, and mouse gestures needed to be added in special cases, which was usually implicit in HTML code. But despite all of this, the experience was still great because I was able to create this custom design for my website and literally built it in half the time that I would have taken with other JS frameworks. And it is a kick-ass looking website, at least for me, which holds all the content that I want in my website. There is definitely more content that I want to add, but I keep adding new sections as I go along. Which reminds me to tell you this last section that I want to talk about, a bonus section, which is keep deploying frequently. Do not wait for the kick-ass version of your website before you hit the deploy button. Today you develop the links section, deploy it. Tomorrow you're going to build the project section, but you only have one project to show. Deploy it. In the beginning, I only had this one section with the newsletter form and some text. This was there for months before I started actually writing the other sections. Then I slowly added the sections for my YouTube videos and deployed. If you notice, it wasn't even like great design as well. I just wanted to publish some content, and slowly I built upon that and started deploying whatever sections that I was adding in my code, because I knew that this was never going to be perfect, and if I was waiting for it to be perfect, then I would have never launched my website. So yes, use these tips to work on your brand or design, content and development of your website. But if you already have your personal website, then drop the links in the comments below, and who knows, if anyone is looking for someone to collab with or work with, you can get some free marketing through this. Hope you like this video, and definitely tell me if you learned something new, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram for more behind the scenes, and see you in the next one.